stars, Eric Andres, your guitar sage here. I'm so glad that you're here. Today we're going to be talking about 5 ways to increase your guitar playing skills even if you have limited time. So we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Now if you're watching from Instagram down here, I highly advise you to go over to Facebook or YouTube if you want the full experience, if you want the better shot, if you want me to answer your questions live, because I can only check out 2 platforms at a time. But we are live on all 3, and Instagram will poop out after about an hour, but we're going to continue to go on. So today, my friends, lots of great stuff. I've got an announcement for you. We're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff. In fact, I'm going to be giving away a guitar today. We've never done this on a Thursday broadcast, but you guys have been so amazing and showing up to these live broadcasts, and they're just getting bigger and bigger and more fun, and I'm more jazzed about it. So obviously I've got a lot of energy and I've got to do something about it, so I got to give a guitar away. All right, so as usual, we're going to be, for those folks that are sharing this, basically what we do is we look over these shares afterwards and we do some giveaways. In fact, what we'll be doing is we'll be giving away some ebook bundles and or actual books from me signed. It depends. If you're here in the States and we get them to you, then we're going to do that. If you're overseas and we have a hard time getting those to you, then we'll do some ebook bundles. We'll send you CDs, all that good stuff, all right? And here's the deal. We're going to be giving a guitar away. We're going to be giving away an Epiphone PR150. For those of you that have just joined me, you can see that on the screen there. For those of you that have just joined me and you have not been to my live webcasts before, my friends, you're missing out. And you need to follow me here on Facebook or YouTube. Actually, to win this guitar, you need to be following me in both places. You need to subscribe and follow, obviously, or like on Facebook. And so that is the only way to win the PR150. Okay, this is an Epiphone acoustic guitar, dreadnought style, that we gave 30 of these away in the month of December. And we're going to be doing this over the next few broadcasts here every single week for the next 5 weeks here. We're going to give 5 guitars away. Pretty cool, right? I think so. So today we're going to be talking about, and I have an announcement for you too at the end of the video. Chris, don't let me forget to do that announcement. We got an announcement for you at the end of this video, but without further ado, let's jump into this lesson. And then what I'm going to do is after I teach the lesson, I'm going to be taking questions both on Facebook and YouTube. I'll be bouncing back and forth. So get those questions ready. I'm not looking at them right now, okay? You can ask them, but it's going to not do you any good because I'm not looking at them right now, okay? So let's talk about the subject at hand, 5 ways to increase your guitar playing skills even if you have limited time, which we all have limited time, right? We only have 24 hours in the day. So how, Eric, pray tell, are you going to teach us how to increase our guitar playing skills even if we have limited time? I'm going to show you. And in fact, every way that I'm going to be showing you today is what some people call net time. Okay, net time. It's just consider it as time that you're doing something else. Some people might call it multitasking, or nonetheless, net time. That's what some people call it. Other people call it multitasking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some bits and pieces that you can do while you're doing other things that you're already doing. Not taking any more time out of your schedule. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, so let's cover these. And then I'll be taking your questions, or we'll be giving a guitar away. We won't be doing it in this broadcast. What we're going to be doing is after, for those folks that have shared this and are following us on YouTube and Facebook, then we're going to get you set up. Some lucky winner is going to win a PR150 Epiphone guitar. Okay? Very good. Without further ado, here we go. So 5 ways to increase your guitar playing skills even if you have limited time. So I have a few of these written down here, and I literally just jotted these down this morning because I was thinking a lot of folks out there will say, Eric, I really want to get better at guitar and I'm practicing this many hours, this much time. And obviously the number one way to increase your playing is to just practice more, right? But for some folks, they feel like they don't have any more time. And they feel like, maybe they're literally, truly giving all that they can to the guitar. If that's the case, all right, let's talk about some ways that would be easier. 5 ways, and we'll talk about these in detail. Number 1 is what I call TV time, right? Or just basically, I used to do this when I was watching TV. I still do this, and I don't watch much TV at all. But when I do, the guitar is in my hands 99% of the time. So if I'm watching TV or I'm on the phone on a long conversation, maybe with grandma or somebody, So we're talking about these bits and pieces. I'll drill down to these, but I'm going to give the 5 to you right away. Shred neck or pocket guitar. Okay, these are the five headlines, if you will. We're going to drill down to them. Grip master, putty, and capo. Number 4 is finger exercises. Just wait on that one. And number 5 is diagrams, chords, scales in class, the doctors, that sort of thing. Now, let me drill down before you're like, that is really weird. You're weird, Eric, and I'm out of here. Just hold on a minute. All right? So here's the deal. When I started playing guitar, I was about 14 years old. I was 14 years old. And I could not get enough of this instrument. I had to have it in my hands all the time. Obsessed with it. It was my girlfriend. It was my best friend. It was everything for many, many years. And I'm glad, because it kept me out of trouble. It kept me concentrated on something. And now, voila, this is what I do for a living. How fun is that, right? It happened just like that, too. No, it didn't. But nonetheless, I was always trying to find more time to play guitar. This is what I did. Some things that I did is I rode on a bus to school. I lived about an hour away from school. So during that bus ride time, I would bring my guitar. It was an hour to school and an hour back. And then I thought to myself, man, I don't do much for lunch. I just sit there and shoot the crap with my friends, and I eat a sandwich. That's major guitar time. It's like an hour of guitar time. I can eat a sandwich and play guitar at the same time. I don't need to sit there and BS with my friends, right? So bam, just thinking that way, I found 3 more hours in the day that I could practice, okay? Forget about waiting for my mom to pick me up from the bus stop and everything else. I had all sorts of extra time to practice just because I was thinking, what about this time? What about this time? Where am I wasting time? Okay, and I want you to think about that for yourself, because everybody's different, okay? And you really have to be honest with yourself. You can say, I don't have any extra time, Eric. I don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how busy I am. Really? Okay. You're the only person in the world who's busy. I bet you not. I bet you everybody watching this is busy. And I bet you that you can still, with your busy schedule, find out where you might be wasting some time or where you might be finding some guitar time, okay? Now, with that being said, these are 5 things that we're going to be doing with net time, right? No extra time needed. So, TV. This is one of the things that I said. I watched some TV. I had some shows that I liked back in the day. How can I integrate that with my guitar playing? So I would literally just sit there while I was watching TV, and I would run my scales, or I would run my chord forms, or I would sit there and work on one particular chord, or I might take a lick that I was not very good at, that I had to go nice and slowly over. And I would just sit there and run it over and over again. Over and over and over again until I just automatically started getting better. That's the only way to do it, is repetition, right? So the more repetition that you can bring to the guitar, the better you're going to be. It's an impossibility for you to not get better if you're repeating things over and over again, okay? At least your dexterity and your skills here, okay? So TV time, or if you're on the phone or doing something that your hands can be free. Now, girlfriends don't like this, boyfriends don't like this if you're talking to them and they hear this twiddling going on in the background of your guitar. So I suggest getting an electric guitar, one that's a little bit more quiet, because if you're using an acoustic guitar, that's going to bother them, right? It bothers my wife when I do that still when I'm watching TV. So I get my electric, I turn away from her while I'm playing so the sound's not projecting towards her, and boom, everybody's happy, okay? So number 1, TV time, or just downtime, time where you can be playing guitar and doing something else, okay? Number 2, what I call shred neck or pocket guitar. So there are bits and pieces out there. There are, devices, things that you can get. One of them is if I can think of it off the top of my head, I can't even think of it off the top of my head. But nonetheless, one of them is called the shred neck. Another one is called the pocket guitar. Now, what is this guy? Well, it doesn't sound very good. It's not supposed to. It's just literally supposed to be the strings, covering 5 or 6 frets here. What's this? 4, 5, 6, 7. Really just enough to where you can chord your hands. You can form those chords just like you would. This is basically the bottom 6 frets of the guitar. And yes, even though it does have tuners, the tuners aren't there. It's not in tune. That's just to bring the strings taut so that it feels more like a guitar. And in fact, it doesn't go this way, it goes this way. This part tucks underneath you, and you play it just like this. Now, what's this good for? This is great, especially for folks who are just playing or just starting off because they're trying to form chords, they're trying to come up with those scale forms, all the rest. Now, again, it's not going to sound good, but once you know the way those chords should look, then you don't have to go so much on sound. You can just sit there and work on the chords. Folks ask me all the time, they say, Eric, how do I get good at playing from the G chord to the C chord? And my response is, play from the G chord to the C chord and do it over and over and over again. You don't want to look for an exercise for the actual thing that you're trying to do. If you're trying to get good at push-ups, don't look for another exercise to help you get good at push-ups. Do more push-ups. 100% of the time. Don't look at something else. Something else is not going to help you better than just literally head force into what it is that you're trying to get good at. So, in this case here, if someone's trying to get good at going from the C to the G chord or vice versa, or the G to the F or the C to F, doesn't matter, then this is great. The shred neck is great because you literally can go back and forth between these 2 chords, and you're building that muscle memory, okay? So literally, which rarely happens, but when my wife does drive, then I will have this, and I'll be sitting in the passenger seat, and I'll be fretting my chords, or I'll be working on some little exercise, maybe exercise 1 or 2 from the free course. If you don't know the free course, got to check out the free course that I have for you, YourGuitarSage.com/30. But what I do is I use those exercises in there, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on all strings. This way, I have the guitar in my hands, right? So that's called the shred neck. This might be in my store. If it's not, I'll have Chris, my right-hand man, add that to our store. The store, is, by the way, is YourGuitarSage.com/gear or kit.com/YourGuitarSage. You'll see the URL right there on the screen there. So I think we have one of these in the store. If not, we're going to put one in the store because this is pretty invaluable for keeping those fingers going. Now, there's also something out there called, I think it's called a pocket guitar, and it's even smaller. It doesn't have real strings, but it kind of opens up and it literally fits in your pocket. This is not going to fit in your pocket, okay? So that was number 2, shred neck / pocket guitar. Okay, number 3 is Gripmaster Putty Capo. That's really 3 things, but that's all right. So a Gripmaster, in this case it's called a Very Grip, but I think the original was called the Gripmaster. This one's by Planet Waves, and it's called a Very Grip. We should probably have this in the store as well if it's not already. But the Very Grip by Planet Waves. Now what's this all about? Well, this literally is just the device that you squeeze that allows you to strengthen your hands. So rock climbers use this, weightlifters use this, drummers, guitar players, anybody who's trying to increase the strength in their forearms and in their hands. So its springs, spring activated, and you have these little knobs, at least on the Very Grip. I believe on the Gripmaster it is what it is. But with the Very Grip you can adjust the tension there, and what that allows you to do is, let's say your second finger and first finger are a lot stronger than the rest, then you can set those as harder and lighten up on the pinky and the ring finger. And so you're constantly kind of working that. So I'll sometimes literally, if I'm jumping on the trampoline, I have a rebounder that I use for increased physical fitness and that sort of thing. And while I'm on there, I'll be using this. Or sometimes if I'm driving, if it's a long trip, and I don't have to be really active here. Or even when I'm driving, I can do this. I can keep this up there. I'm not advising you to do that. I'm just a really good driver. Okay, so that's number one, is the Very Grip, or what we call a Grip Master. The other thing that you can do, and this is very cheap, those Grip Masters are, I would guess, about 15 or 20 bucks. I don't remember. It's been some time. So get yourself some putty. In this case here, this is called Big Putty, and I literally just bought it from Publix or Kroger or whatever department store you got, CVS, whatever. In the kids aisle, it's putty, and in this case here, it's called Big Putty, and I like it because it's much bigger than other putties. And so, in fact, I like this better than the Grip Master because it's less mechanical. It feels more natural, and it feels like you're getting something done. If that makes any sense to you, there's a sense of accomplishment. It's a stress reliever. So anything like that, any stress reliever things that you can squeeze, it's great. Now, if you don't have any one of those and you're like, I don't have the money for that, Eric, stop trying to sell me stuff. I'm not trying to sell you anything except to be a better player. The other thing that you can do is you can get a capo. And I have this magical capo that floats in the air. And these are amazing for obviously using them like you would a capo, but also what you can do is these spring-loaded ones you can use for individual finger exercises. So literally just like this. So slip it in your pocket, you're at the doctor's office, and you're like, I really want to get better at my bar chords. Well, you know what to do. Watch my bar chords videos. There's a 2-part series on YouTube. Just search YourGuitarSage bar chords, and boom, you're off to the races. But you also need to increase the strength in your hands, right? So one way to do that is to use a capo, a spring-loaded one. You literally can just sit there and work that, okay? It's just like doing push-ups for your hands or pull-ups, okay? The stronger your hands are, then the less fatigue you're going to have, the more endurance you're going to have, and the better your chords are going to sound because you're going to actually be able to fret them and not wimp out on them, right? It happens. You got to increase the strength in your hands. Okay, number 4 is finger exercises, okay? Now this is, if you don't have any of that stuff and you're like, what can I do to actually be playing or to actually be getting some dexterity or something going along with my fingers, okay? So let's say you're sitting there at the doctor's office, you're in class, whatever. I used to do this all the time. Again, if you want to get 24 of these exercises for free, check out the free course because this will relate exactly to that, even though that's not what the video is about. Exercise 1 inside the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. I have 24 exercises based off of this one exercise where I just teach you this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's based off of that exercise. But if you think about it, you got 4 fingers and you can do all these different combinations. You could do 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 3, 2, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3. You can do all these different combinations, 24 in total. So what I like to do is I like to play them on the guitar, but again, if the guitar's not with me, what I'll do is I'll challenge myself. Maybe I'm driving. Again, don't try this yourself. I just happen to be an amazing driver. But on the steering wheel, what I'll do is I'll 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, or 1, 4, 3, 2. Or if my hands are on a desk, then I'll do this typically with just my fretting hand. But I'll do the same thing. 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. So instead of tapping your fingers like this, do something that's challenging to you. Now you may say to yourself, well, that's hard. Yeah, right. And the harder it is, the better it is going to be for you because what's happening is you're actually creating neural paths in your brain, okay? So, and this is true with anything, not just guitar, but when you're not good at something and you find out what that is, don't be sad about that. Be happy about that because now you found something that you can improve on, and when you practice it, it's going to help you improve in all these other areas as well because you're literally, I think it's called neuroplastic, I don't know, something about, basically it's the thought that not the thought, it's the science that we can grow our brains, okay? And so what you would want to do is just tap, either using those exercises that I'm giving you in the free course, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 4, 3, 2, and you're going to do this over and over again, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. And you'll just sit there and practice that at varying speeds. Obviously, you want to start off easy at first, okay? So you can do those various exercises like that. Find all those variations in the free course. Okay, and number 5, and then we're going to get to our questions in just a minute. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so number 5 is diagrams, chord scales, I said in class or the doctor's office. Now, this is something that I used to do in class a lot, which is probably why when I graduated high school, I was number 67 of 69 in my class. That's right. I'm really proud about that. Not really. I used to be a straight A student, and then when I found the guitar, my concentration just went squirrel. I mean, it was literally like that's all I wanted to do was play guitar. Just eat, drink, sleep, guitar. And because of that, my studies suffered. So kids, don't let your studies suffer. Practice your guitar, but I could have made time for school too. I just was so obsessed with music, okay? So, with that being said, one of those reasons that I was 67 in a class of 69 is that I used to, instead of listening to the teacher and doing my studies, I would sit there with all these diagrams, chord diagrams, scale diagrams. I mentioned to you that I used to draw out the ultimate guitar for me. You know, I used to say, oh, it would have this and that and the other thing. Now I'm building that guitar. If you've seen on some of my social media, in fact, I just talked with Greg Ellis, my guitar tech today, and that's underway. We literally, I'm meeting with him. One more meeting tonight before it goes to the press, and I get my first prototype. So more on that later. But I used to sit there and draw all this stuff out in class, chords, scales. I would find out how this scale was connected to this scale and this chord was connected to this chord. And I'd go, oh man, eureka, look at that. And then all of a sudden, the fretboard just started opening up for me. This is how I teach, by the way. All this stuff that I discovered in class has actually paid off over time. So maybe draw those diagrams in class, all right? Now, so you can do this in class, you can do this in the doctor's office, whatever. Get yourself some stamps, some chord stamps. You can get those free in the free guitar course. Just print them out, and then you literally can come up with all these different chord diagrams and scale diagrams so that when you're thinking about this visually, when you go to the guitar, it's a lot easier. In fact, a friend of mine was a classical guitar student in college. And one of the things that the instructor had them do was to go over their assignments visually in their head without the guitar, which what that does is it allows you to connect in a different way than just playing the guitar, okay? They did an experiment with basketball players where they had 3 sets of basketball players, and they were all working on free throws. They had one set that did nothing whatsoever. They had another set that practiced the free throws, and they had another set that just thought about the process of throwing the free throws. The guys that did nothing obviously got worse. The folks that practiced the free throws got better by, I forgot whatever amount it was. They got better. And the folks that didn't shoot the baskets but just thought about it and the process of it, scored almost as high as the folks that were shooting the baskets. So without any physical throwing of it itself, just mentally putting themselves in that game allowed them to be very, very close to those folks that were out there shooting all the time. So with that said, it doesn't mean to just think about playing guitar. Pick up the friggin' guitar, practice as much as possible, but when the guitar's not in your hands, think about it. Draw those diagrams. You've got 5 different ways now that you can play the guitar or that you can increase your guitar playing skills without having to come up with more time. So for those folks with limited time, which is all of us, right? All right, my friends, that is the lesson for today. We're going to get to your questions on Facebook and on YouTube. And let me remind you, oh, and I got an announcement for you. I'm going to talk about it right now, right after I tell you about this, okay? So for folks that share this, we always pick 5 winners per episode. We give away a few $100s worth of stuff every single episode, okay? Which these episodes are usually Thursdays at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes we change it up. And then we do a monthly one, which that's the next one I'm going to tell you about. Amazing stuff happening at that one, okay? So here we go. So for today, we're going to pick 5 winners, and basically the way this works is if you share this video, share it with social media, we're going to be tracking that. We do this every single week. We pick 5 winners. 5 winners are going to win a book. It's not here right now, but the first book that I wrote that's actually the book that is, it's the way that I teach. It's part of the Unstoppable Guitar System. That you're going to get that book for free. signed by me, in addition to a CD. Okay. Now, for those folks that are overseas, if we have a hard time getting that to you, we're going to hook you up with an ebook bundle, which is basically 3 books off of YourGuitarSage.com. It's actually worth more money. So for those folks that win locally, the U.S., if you want that book bundle instead, then just let us know, and we'll send that to you instead. Okay, so that's what we're giving away. And one lucky winner today is going to win a guitar. That's right, an Epiphone PR150. Now, we gave away 30 of these. There you go. You can see that right on the screen, my friends. So the Epiphone PR150, we're going to be giving one of those away. And the way that you win that, listen to me, is you have to be, sorry, I'm going through puberty. You have to be following me on YouTube, subscribe, and you have to be following me on Facebook. If not, you don't win. You can't win, okay? So with all that being said, we're going to pick one winner of those folks, okay? Cool. All right. Here's the announcement. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you? I don't know if you are. Okay, on March the 24th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, that is a Saturday, I'm going to be doing a live webcast. A live webcast is 2 easy ways to know how chords match, all right? So have you ever been, you've been writing a song and the chords don't match up, where you're like, God, I hear the chord going to this place, but I can't seem to make it match up, okay? Wait on this, because I've got a giveaway for you. I'm going to tell you about this live broadcast, but in that live broadcast, I have a very, very special giveaway. So, have you ever been writing a song and you just can't find the chords because you can't find the chords that match, right? Or have you been trying to learn a song by ear, and as much as you're grabbing at chords and what have you, the chords just completely elude you and it seems impossible to find the chords, right? Or have you ever tried to play, famous chord progressions or famous, the most used chords, if you will? Is the thought of doing that in any key, does that sound daunting to you? All right? If you answered yes to any of those, you gotta join me for this live webcast that we'll be doing on March the 24th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to know more about this, go to YourGuitarSage.com/live. I think we have some information for that up already. If we don't, then there is a way, I believe, for you to subscribe to an email list, and we'll get that information to you on the next live event, which is the March 24th one. Okay, so join me for that. Nonetheless, write it down on your arm, on a piece of paper, wherever. Write it down, put it in your calendar right now, and join me for that, because it's going to be the biggest webcast that we've done. I guarantee you, I'm very, very excited about it. I haven't been this excited for a long time in a live webcast. Very excited about it. And what's the big giveaway? Well, number one, we're going to be giving away listen to me, we're going to be giving away over $5,000 worth of guitars, of courses, my lifetime membership to the Unstoppable Guitar System. I'm going to be giving away those, as well as books, as well as guitar packs, and a grand prize winner of, you ready? Tatiana, my Takamine, my EAN 10C guitar, who's been with me for over 10 years. She's traveled with me to many, many a gig. She's been all over the U.S. And I love this guitar, but it's time that she finds a new home. I had someone say to me the other day, Eric, doesn't it hurt to give away one of your personal guitars? It's like I give away these other guitars all the time. That's super fun. I love doing that. But they said, what about your personal guitars? Like that, doesn't that hurt? And I say, it actually doesn't. It actually feels fantastic. This guitar has been lovely to me. I was so blessed to be able to have the money to buy it about over 10 years ago now. I think it was somewhere around $800. It's a high quality Takamine. EAN 10C, you can look it up online. It has built-in electronics, built-in tuner, EQ, the whole 9 yards. And it's a beauty. And along with it, I'm going to be giving a bunch of other stuff in there too. Books and tuners and cables and all sorts of capos. And I'm going to really jam-pack that guitar case full of fun stuff, okay? It's going to be like Christmas for somebody. Maybe I'll even throw in a course there. We'll have to see. Nonetheless, this is going to be going away, and we're going to be giving away over $5,000 worth of goodies. So I want you to be there, okay? There's literally no catch. It's just you're going to learn a ton of stuff. In fact, the stuff I'm going to be teaching that day, and we're getting to the questions right now, right? Hang in there. The stuff that I'm teaching you, literally, I started playing guitar when I was 14. It took me about 7 years, listen, 7 years, 3 years of college, and practicing every single day from about 4 to 14 hours every single day from 14 to 21 years old before I learned these concepts. Okay, I was a voracious guitar player. I wanted to learn everything that I could about the guitar. I had several guitar teachers, 2 or 3 at least by that age, and I didn't learn any of this stuff from them, or I learned bits and pieces from them, but no one sat down and said, Eric, you got to know this. And I wish somebody had, because it took me a long time to discover it on my own, and I had to move to Nashville. Nashville was much of the reason as to why I know this stuff now. Thank you, Nashville. So that's the stuff I'm going to be teaching you in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, hour and 10 minutes, something like that. And I'm going to be taking your live questions there. We usually go 3, sometimes even 4 hours with the questions. So we're going to be giving a ton of stuff away. I'm going to be teaching you concepts that took me 7 years and hundreds of thousands of hours of practice before I actually discovered this stuff. But I'm going to assimilate it all down for you into a bite-sized piece for you that you will walk away understanding. I promise you, you're going to understand this. All right, my friends? If you can, before then, check out the free course that I have for you, YourGuitarSage.com/30. It's going to answer a ton of questions for you. In fact, now when we get into these questions, watch. Watch how many times I refer to this free course. It's not a setup. It's because I specifically made this course for folks that have all these questions, and I wanted to make a way. It hurt me to hear about all these folks that were having questions on guitar, and I couldn't help them any more than just the time that I was spending here in a live webcast or something like that. I was like, gosh, I want them to be able to have more. So that's what the free course is all about. Okay, so let's get into some questions. And right now, friends, I am on Facebook, and I'm going to be popping over to YouTube here in just a minute. All right, so here we go. The first question is, and this is, I'm just taking it straight from the top here. Oh, love the goodies. Okay, and friends, when you're leaving a question, please be good boys and girls and leave a question mark, because there are hundreds of comments and I need to be able to get to these, okay? So here we go. And if I don't see a question mark, it's going to be difficult for me to see, okay? Because there's a lot of bits here. All right, here we go. Hi, sir. I am one of your students. Okay, so here's Zishan Khan, and he's saying he's in one of my Udemy courses. So we have the #1 guitar course on Udemy at udemy.com. It is a scaled down, more affordable version of my Unstoppable guitar system. I should say it's some of that same material, but it's a scaled down version of that. And Zishan is in this course, and he's saying, how much time should I take to complete the course? And this is a question that's really hard to answer because it depends on how much you're practicing. Really, honestly, that question cannot be answered. That's like saying to somebody, how long should I, gosh, I don't know. How long will it take me to run a marathon? Well, it takes some people like an hour and a half, and other people it takes like a half a day. So it really depends. For something like that, it may take you a year. It may take you 6 months. It may take you 2 years. It may take you 10 years. It just depends on how often you're coming back to it and how often you're practicing. Tom Miller is saying, have you tried or seen the Jamstick? Thank you, Tom, for mentioning that. That was the device I was thinking about. We used to give away Jamsticks at every single live broadcast. We gave away dozens of them, and we don't now, but because we're giving away guitars and some other stuff. But love the Jamstick. I think it's really cool. It's great for transcribing. I actually have a review video on it. So thanks for asking about that, Tom. It's pretty cool. It's not going to substitute as a guitar, but it's a great addition. Okay, great. Ken McKenzie is saying, I'm learning on a Squire Bullet Series Strat. And in fact, let me do something here. I want to get these questions a little bit closer to the center here where you guys can see them more. By the way, folks on Instagram, we're over on Facebook and YouTube, and this is where we're answering those questions. So if you're wondering why I'm not looking directly at you and getting to your questions, it's because we have a whole nother camera set up. And if we want to be on all 3 places at once, I can't get to all the questions. Okay, so the question here was, I'm learning on a Squire Bullet Series Strat, and while picking notes on the fret, it seems out of tune, but my snark says it's not. Is it my ear or is it my guitar? It's hard to tell, Ken. It may be your ear, but it could be that the guitar is out of intonation. So what that means is your guitar is in tune when you tune it here, but when you start fretting notes, it starts becoming out of tune because that's called intonation. I would take that to a local vendor, somebody who works on guitars, and have them check that out because most likely your intonation's off. Laura's saying, dude, I'm got a cold, or kind of a cold here. I'm working through it right now. Pardon me. Laura's saying, do you ever get hand cramps while playing? If so, what helps avoid them, if they're avoidable, that is? Laura, yes. I used to a lot. I don't so much anymore unless I'm going for like marathon playing, and I haven't played for a while, which really is never anymore. So, Laura, follow the bit that I talked about with the putty or the capo. You want to exercise that hand. So if you have some putty or some Play-Doh or a grip master or something like that, constantly do that. Work, 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 work. And, oh, look, Glenn is saying he's an occupational therapist and uses TheraPutty all the time. That's right. Good, good. Heavy-duty bubble wrap, someone's saying. Okay, great. I love it. So, yeah, you would definitely want to be working those hands, okay? Okay, so I'm popping back up to the top of Facebook here. I'm going to get to some more questions. And then I'm going to pop over to YouTube here in just one moment. Okay, question. Andrew Stoddard is saying, is it true that when you tune a guitar, you should tune up, not down? Yes, that is true. Watch my video on YouTube regarding tuning issues. In order to do that, you can just type in YourGuitarSage tuning. Now, why is that, Eric? Why should you tune up? Well, because there's a little bit of slack right here and beyond the bridge. So beyond the nut and beyond the bridge, in these directions, you still have string. And because of that, some of the tension can get caught up there. So the tension's not even across everything, and then if you bump the guitar or bend a string or what have you, now you're pulling the slack that was in these places into between the nut and the bridge, and now your string has become looser there slightly. I mean, it's so not noticeable except for the tuning, and now your guitar is out of tune. So what you want to do is if I'm sharp, I'll pull the string, I'll stretch it. I do this in a lot of my tuning videos. You can see right there, I just put it out of tune because these are new strings. Yeah, it didn't pull it out of tune, but nonetheless, these are new strings, so they might do that. So and then what I would do is I'd pull it down below the note that I'm looking for, and then I'd pull it up again. Okay, so it's doing two things. It's stretching the string out a little bit, and it's bringing it up to pitch. Okay. Great question. Wayne Beck is saying, I'm a rhythm player and wanting to do lead work and was wondering what is the best scales to learn. Wayne, two scales to learn, pentatonic scale and the major scale. Learn the major scale to know music theory and to understand that more. If you follow my videos, my music theory videos on YouTube, knowing the major scale is absolutely paramount, okay? And the pentatonic scale, the 5-note scale, is the easiest scale to use. I have videos for both of these on YouTube. Type in YourGuitarSage pentatonic or YourGuitarSage major. And in fact, there is a major scale video that you have to know. Listen to me, you have to know it. If you don't know it, you're not going to understand theory. If you don't start with knowing the major scale, you're never going to understand music theory. You've got to know the major scale. That video is free in the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. So, Wayne, start with that. Start with that major scale that's in the free course. Check out the pentatonic scale. I've got lots of videos for that. And then follow, let's see, if you're in the Unstoppable Guitar System, I have some major step-by-step courses for that in call and response and minimalistic blues. Conversely, on YouTube, you could search those two things, YourGuitarSage minimalistic blues or YourGuitarSage call and response, and you're going to find one or two videos on that, if you will, on YouTube. Within my courses, I have a whole system for that of teaching you how to do that. But that's the best place. It's the best place to start. Okay, Ala Ferris on Facebook is saying, mostly ambidextrous. Have you worked with people like me, and do you have them choose one way, left or right, or do you encourage learning both ways at the same time? Both ways feel awkward for me, but it also feels ugly not working both sides. It's a weird dilemma. Any thoughts? Thanks. I definitely would advise you to just go with one side. It's not going to impress anybody that you can do both sides. It's going to, I mean, it's fine if you do that. It's great for your brain, by the way. But realistically, if you want, if somebody's on stage and they're playing mediocre with left and right hand, I'm going to like them way better if they're playing just one way really well. So I would advise you to play one way really well, and I would advise you to play as a righty if neither way matters to you, because there's a lot more guitars. When you're at a party, there's never a lefty guitar hanging out. When you go to Guitar Center, there's 500 righty guitars and like 2 lefties, okay? So if you can play that way, if you're years into playing and you're a lefty, then just play that way. My wife's a lefty. She's not going to change. Okay, can you practice too much? That's a joke, right? No, you cannot practice too much. What would happen? You'd only be the best freaking guitar player ever, right? So practice, practice, practice. You cannot practice too much. Never. What is the best way to handle hand cramps? Number one, get your hands exercised, okay? They're probably cramping because you're asking more of them in the beginning than you're used to doing. So exercise them in the way that I mentioned in number 3 of this broadcast. All right, great questions. Great questions. Okay, what do you suggest to keep your fingers calluses? Play guitar. I wash dishes, use my hands a lot, and wash them and lose my calluses. Colleen, the more you play, I wash my hands a ton. It's not that. You're just not practicing enough to keep the calluses up. So if you're not practicing an hour a day, you're probably not going to really get much calluses, okay? You really should be practicing as much as possible, and that's going to build those calluses up. The more you play, the more calluses you'll have. Heather on Facebook saying, I was told my body position was impeding my ability to properly use bar chords. What do you recommend? Heather, I recommend you watching, it's in the top 5 videos, one of the top 5 videos in my top 30 videos that I give to you for free that's in the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. There's the link for you. Basically, I show you exactly how to hold your body. In addition to that, on YouTube, search Your Guitar Sage bar chords, and I'll show you exactly how you can play bar chords. I'll walk you through the method, okay? Jonathan is saying, would you consider recommending a workout therapy to keep your hands and wrists healthy so a student can endure and enjoy practicing? I ask because most of us complain about muscle cramps. Actually, Jonathan, you said muscle craps, which is something totally different. We're not going to get into that today. But muscle cramps, on the other hand, Jonathan, is, again, it's just because you're not practicing enough. It'd be like if I went to the gym and I tried to push a bunch of weights and I started cramping up or my muscles started hurting. That's just basic physiology, okay? So you just practice more. That's, yes, the regimen for you is the workout therapy is to practice guitar. The more you do it, the lighter your touch will be and the stronger your hands will get. Why do some guitar players wrap a device around the end of their neck? What's that for? That mutes the strings. Don't worry about it. It's for players that are doing a lot of tapping and stuff like that. It's just not necessary unless you're really into that end of playing. Can you demonstrate how to do pinch harmonics and how to use them in a song? Evan, I have a video for that. On YouTube, search Your Guitar Sage harmonics. Okay? Watch that video because I can go into a lot more detail in that video. Alan saying, I'd like to learn Spanish guitar. Which chords are essential for Spanish style? Which chords are essential? Start with the 9 essential chords. Those are the main ones. Those are in the free course. They literally are the most commonly used chords that you're going to use. You remember when I said to you, you're going to hear this a lot? I'm telling you, this is not just coincidence. This is by design. All these questions, these are the first 30 lessons that if you visited me here in Nashville, we'd go over it. It would take about 30 weeks, and it would cost you about $1,000. A lot more than that, actually, with how much I charge now. But with that being said, I'm giving it to you for free. So learn those chords first. Okay. Jude Love is saying, do you encourage barring chords across 4 frets, barring a D chord, having trouble with those, but less with the 3 fret with 3-fret chords. Any help? Jude, watch my video on bar chords. It's just a matter that your hands aren't strong enough yet. What about picking hand exercises? Any tips? Yes, Nico, I have many exercises for you, specifically 1 and 2 in the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. Watch those exercises. There's more than you'll ever know what to do within there, okay? Do you offer a library of licks, or can one can get to improve a lick library? Yes, inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, which is my big master course, and also the blues ebook that you can find at YourGuitarSage.com. I have a slew of ebooks there, or 3 of them actually, and I have some licks for you to go over there. Okay, the questions are going so fast on Facebook. I'm going to bump over to YouTube because I love my friends over there, and I do not want to leave them alone, okay? And the questions are flying over there right now, so I need to wait till they slow down because literally they are going way too fast. Yes, John, St. John is saying hydrate for cramps. That is 100% true. There is some health that we need to talk about there when it comes to cramps. If you're cramping, hydrating is going to help a lot for that. Potassium, bananas, those sorts of things, that's going to help. So nothing that I'm going to get into other than that little bit right there. Greg is saying, can you explain the number system? Greg, I've got a whole video for that. So on YouTube, type in Your Guitar Sage number system, okay? So any special reason for buying the Yak over another guitar? Karen, do you mean the TAC, like the Takamine? If so, I bought the Takamine. Her name is Tatiana, and the reason for me buying the Takamine is when I bought this maybe 10 or 15 years ago, it's like the most bang for the buck guitar, okay? It's like I loved Taylor, I loved Gibson, I wanted to have those as well, but this thing plays and sounds amazing, and instead of me dropping $2,500, I dropped about $800 or $900 for this guitar. And it's an amazing guitar, and it's been roadworthy and all else, okay? So, Yamgar on YouTube is saying, Eric, mention process to follow while doing fingerstyle arranging. Okay, so first off, you need to know how to finger pick. And the way you would do that is you would follow my finger picking exercises. I have lots of them on YouTube. You type in Your Guitar Sage finger picking, but better yet, because I have PDFs in that free course for you that supplement all the videos that I'm giving to you that are step by step. Then what happens is, let's say you go straight to that finger picking exercise or finger picking video and you're stumped and you're like, I just don't understand this. Then you go back a video. It's step by step. If you're on YouTube, you're here and there and there's a cat video and a booby video and a car video and a this, that, and the other thing, and you're distracted and you're screwed and you're wondering why you're not getting better at the guitar. You need a step-by-step method that you're focused on that you can do this with, okay? So you got, number one, you got to be able to know how to finger pick, know which fingers go on what strings, that sort of thing. Then, arrangement is really subjective, so that is something that you come up with, okay? So one arrangement is going to be different than another arrangement. Okay, how long does it take after a restringing for them to stop stretching? Karen's saying, Karen, watch my video on tuning Your Guitar Sage. Or I tell you what, Your Guitar Sage changing guitar strings. Look that up. Your Guitar Sage changing guitar strings, because in each one of those videos where I'm changing the guitar strings, I go over a whole section of stretching those strings out, the whole method to do it, how many times to do it, this, that, the other thing. So, Karen, I don't put my strings on and then just leave it and then keep tuning my guitar until it stops going out of tune. That would take a long time, probably at least a week, maybe 2 weeks. So what I do is I put my strings on, I stretch them out, I tune them, stretch them out, tune them, stretch them out, tune them. It usually takes 2 or 3, sometimes 4 times to completely pull all the stretch out of them and then to get them into position. So you're pulling the stretch and the tinsel, the slack from the nut and the bridge outwards. And then you're also literally stretching the strings some to let them settle, okay? Watch those because there's a lot of detail in there, a lot more than I'll be able to talk about here. Masish is on YouTube is saying, how can I do a better strum sound? Masi, watch the strumming video in the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. I have lots of strumming exercises for you, and I walk you through understanding how to strum. There's a whole process in this. And it's not that hard. You just need someone to show it to you the right way one time. Once someone shows it to you the right way one time, you'll have it ingrained in you. And then I have all those exercises. There's 5 levels with about 4 to 5 exercises per level. It's walking up, getting progressively more complex. Then what it will do is by the end of it, you're going to really understand how to strum and how to listen to it, how to practice it, okay? Okay, great questions. How can I gauge my process? Kimmel Sadat is saying, I practice for hours daily, but I can't tell my rate of learning. Should I use a song or speed exercises, etc.? Kimmel, learn songs, okay? So when folks are doing, sorry, I've got to adjust the the bits here. When you're trying to judge your process, I think it's really good to use songs because you walk away not only having gone, okay, I didn't play that song before, now I can play the song. Boy, now I've seen that what I'm doing is working. But now you have a thing to bring with you to a party and play. But I just learned this song. You have something as opposed to a scale. If you're getting faster and faster at a scale, that's great. But no one really cares if you can get good at that. Okay, no one cares that you can play your scales fast per se. Maybe later on as you're a guitar player, but most people just want to hear you play some songs, okay? So that's the way I would do that, Kimmel. Okay, okay, so Frederick Program is saying, once you said the Fender Blues Junior was your favorite, now you're showing the Black Star. If only one, which? I'm a lover of all sorts of amps, but there's a few of them that are my favorites, and here's the deal. I love the Blues Junior when I'm using my pedal board, and I have lots of pedals. You've seen this before. I've got lots of pedals. I don't have my pedal board set up right now, but nonetheless, when I'm running my pedals through my Blues Junior, I absolutely love that amp. Even on its own, it's a great sounding amp, but it doesn't give like some great crunch like I like. I like rock music, I like metal, I like blues, and it doesn't crunch the way that I would like it to, like the Black Star does, totally on its own. So there's some caveats there, right? I like the Blues Junior because it's really small, it's powerful, it's one speaker, it's loud, it's tiny, I can bring it with me everywhere, so there's a lot of reasons to like that, and there's just great tone from it, especially with the pedal board. With the Black Star, I love that one because I can just plug straight into that thing, and the sound from that is gigantic. It sounds like a big old Marshall stack on 11. It's just an amazing, amazing amp. But now recently, Tuesday, I just bought a Kemper profiling amp, which you probably don't know what that is. Some of you out there know what it is, but it is absolutely an amazing amplifier. It's not cheap. I think it was, when it was all said and done, it was like $2,500. It's not a cheap amplifier, but it allows me to, it basically is many, 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 many amplifiers all in one, and it does all of them well. It's insanity. And so that, I'm new to that, and I'm learning that right now, which is actually super easy. It's super easy to use, and I guarantee you that's going to become my favorite amp. Now, with that being said, a lot of people aren't going to go out and buy a $2,500 amp, but they might buy a Blues Junior for $400, and that's a great amp, especially if you have pedals. So I have different favorites for different reasons, It's like I have a favorite acoustic, and I got a favorite type Strat style guitar, and I have a favorite humbucker style guitar, and so I got lots of favorites. It's it's kind of like I don't know. It could be like a lot of things, but it's like favorite colors. It's like I like a lot of colors, All right. So Paulina is saying, Eric, do you prefer arpeggiating or picking? So arpeggiating is just when we pick notes separately from a guitar, and we could use a pick or we could finger pick. So I think you probably mean finger picking or picking, and it just depends. Again, they're both my favorite. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm playing rock guitar, then I'm always going to be picking up a pick. If I'm playing more folk style, finger picking style, then I'm going to be using finger picking. So it just depends. All right. Great questions here today. Awesome questions. Oh my gosh, War Veteran Reed, gotta go. We're being fired on. My goodness gracious, someone is in a war, literally in a war zone right now watching this live guitar lesson video. War veteran Reed, I salute you, my friend, and you need to be watching out for us on Veterans Day because we do a special for veterans. Stay safe, my friend. My goodness, that's a hero right there, being fired on. Okay, okay, great questions. I'm going to bump back over to Facebook here. Here we go. I know we're skipping a lot. You know, I know folks are getting their questions missed because I can only get to so many, and we got tons of folks in the broadcast right now. Okay, in fact, right now we've got 80-something folks just on YouTube or on Facebook alone. I don't know how many we have on YouTube. A lot. So we have several hundred people in here right now. Okay. Glenn is also a veteran. We salute you, my friend. Okay, Evan is saying, I have always been an electric guitar player, but I just bought a Martin acoustic guitar last week. I love the freedom of just picking it up and playing, making the change. I noticed bends are harder. Can you recommend a good acoustic string to buy? Evan, so yeah, it's harder to bend on an acoustic guitar for several reasons. Number one, the strings are typically thicker. You don't put 10s or 9s even on, or I should say 9s or even 10s on an acoustic guitar, usually because the intonation becomes wonky and the tuning becomes wonky. Usually you're putting like 12s or 13s on them. Much thicker strings. Also, on most acoustic guitars, you have this break right here where the neck goes down a little bit. It makes the guitar louder and it makes it more resonant and sound better. But it also makes the strings harder to bend. So with those two things, and usually the action is a little bit higher, which again makes it even harder to bend. So I would not try to buy strings that are going to make it easy to bend. Just get your electric and bend with that. If you're going to, you know, like this lick here that I did at the beginning of the video. I'm doing this. I'm doing that thing. But on the electric, I go, I bend it instead of. So, you know, there's certain things that you do when you're on the acoustic to just make it more acoustic-like as opposed to electric. It's kind of like the difference between driving a Porsche and a 4x4. You wouldn't be like, man, I wonder why my Porsche doesn't do four-wheeling very well. Can you suggest tires for it? Now, I'm saying that it's a totally legit question, Evan, but that's the kind of conceptually what I would think. It's like if you had a Porsche, you're not going to be like, well, what tires do I need so I could bog with my Porsche? You don't want to bog with your Porsche. You want to hit corners tightly and go fast with it, and you want to leave the 4x4 for bogging. Makes sense? And you don't want to take the mud truck on a track either, you know. It's going to play like crap if you're Scottish. Have you played GS Mini, Taylor? Thoughts? Yes, I have a GS Mini. Where is it? It's not here. Yes, I have one. I think it's a great little guitar. It's a small sound because it's a small guitar. It's a great travel guitar. Those are my thoughts on it. I think I have a video for it as well. You might search YourGuitarSage Taylor, Taylor, and see if I have a video for that. That should also be in our store. If it's not already, we should. Chris, if you'd write some of those down, because I think it was like 3 or 4 products there that we need to have in the store. If we don't have it already, then we need to put it in there. Okay, great. Makes sense? Okay, cool. Great questions. Okay, Jonathan is saying, would you please do a live show to demonstrate how your amps work and the variations of choices? So that would be a little bit difficult for a live broadcast. We might do that sometime, but yeah, I'll put it in the suggestion list, Jonathan. Might be a little bit difficult to do that, even though now I have an amp wall, but I'm getting rid of a lot of amps because of this Kemper amp, because it's absolutely blowing my mind. That's what's happening, okay? Jonathan is saying, I love the strings. Elixir strings, phosphor bronze, acoustic guitar with nano web coating, medium, 13 through 56. What are your thoughts on this product? I think it's a great product. I don't like when the nano web, which is like a coating on top of the strings, folks, if you don't know what that is, I don't like when it starts to fray and come off. It doesn't really affect the sound so much, but I just don't like looking at it and seeing it and feeling it. It drives me nuts. So I don't use those, but I've heard nothing but good things about them. People really love them. Evan is saying, I heard the Martin Retro bends were still a 12 gauge, but were easier to bend just because of the material they use, since bronze is used in others. What strings do you like on acoustic for sound? I like vibe strings or D'Addario. Those are the ones that I use a lot. And Gene Lynch is asking the same thing on YouTube. Okay. Good stuff. Kemper, is that the proper spelling? Yeah, Kemper. Kemper. Watch some videos on it. It is an absolutely amazing, it is insane. The most amazing amp I've ever had in my life, and I've had tons of amps. Line 6, all the rest. They didn't pay me to say that. I just went out and bought the amp. So I just literally bought it. Hi, bro. What year is that Takamine? Has a nice authentic wear on the well-played acoustic guitar. Do you hit the body to add some percussion? I do all the time. Let's see. So yes, I do. I hit it a lot. And also from strumming. In fact, what a lot of guitars don't come with is a place that you can hold your pick, just like that, right? How about that? Isn't that fancy? But whoever wins this guitar is going to get a free pick holder. I can literally push this all the way through the guitar because that's been worn out like Willie Nelson's guitar. Pretty cool, right? I'll be giving this one away on March the 24th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, friends. Any tips to help beginners build calluses quickly? Sandy, play the guitar a lot. Literally, that is the best way to do it. There's no need in sitting there working on calluses when you could just be playing guitar. And 99.9% of the time, you just want to be playing guitar. Yes, I did give you 5 things today, basically when you don't have the guitar with you. But that's only to increase your time. If you can get the guitar in your hands, get the guitar in your hands, okay? All right, autograph it, Sandy's saying. I will autograph it. If somebody wants it autographed, I'll do that on the back or front or wherever you'd like. All right, bumping back over to YouTube. Lots of questions there. Once you said, okay, we've been over that one. Okay, Lord on YouTube is saying here, I've been feeling kind of stuck in my learning process recently. Been playing the pentatonic scale forever and everything sounds the same. Any tips for an intermediate player? Yes. Watch on YouTube. Now I have it in my Unstoppable course, in my Unstoppable Guitar System course in a much bigger way. But I do have some videos on YouTube that are free that you can get to. Type in YourGuitarSage Minimalistic Blues. YourGuitarSage Minimalistic Blues. The other one you want to search for is YourGuitarSage Call and Response. For those folks that know the pentatonic or blues scale and you're like, it just sounds the same every time, I keep playing it over and over again. Well, it sounds that way because you're practicing your scales like that. Makes sense. So what you want to do is you want to practice them in a different way. It'd be like reading the dictionary and wondering why you can't phrase things the right way because you're reading it straight out of a dictionary, right? So what you need to do is you need to learn basic phrasing, and you can do this with those videos, the call and response and the minimalistic blues. And in a lot of those videos, at the end of it, I actually give you a jam track so that you can sit there and jam over the top of it in a specific key. You got to get used to phrasing, just like you did talking, okay? This is not something that's just some people have it and some people don't. Bullcrap. You get it. You get it by practicing it. The people that have it didn't have it at one point. The people that don't have it can have it by practicing the right stuff. Call and response minimalistic blues on YouTube. Type in YourGuitarSage and those bits, okay? Great questions. Great questions here. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. Okay. I have limited movement in my fretting wrist due to titanium plate. Do you have any suggestions for working around limitations? Sportster guy. This is what I would do. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel that is basically, if you go to my YouTube channel, or you could type this in on YouTube, open up another tab right now and type in disabilities, ? What disabilities? Or yeah, maybe disabilities, what disabilities, ? And the deal is this, it's basically a small playlist that I created with folks with disabilities that are playing guitar. There's a guy there who has a hook for a hand. He doesn't even have a hand here, and he's got a hook, and he's got the pick in there. He's playing amazingly. And then there's another one where the guy has just a nub. Basically it's like maybe up to his elbow, and he's got some way to hold the pick in there, and he's playing along. Another one of my students is bedridden in some way. I don't know. She's in Iran or in Iraq, and I just always see her, and she's got a sweet girl. We've communicated a lot. I don't know if she's paralyzed or what, but she's in a bed and she's leaning back, and I always see her playing the guitar, and she's doing it great. There's another guy on YouTube that's in that playlist. He has no arms, and he plays great. How? He's playing with his toes. Literally sets the guitar on the ground. Some people say that's impossible. No, anything's possible if you set your mind to it. Okay? No one can say that something's impossible if it's being done all the time. Just like Richard Bannister, I think it was in the 30s, they said you could never run a 4-minute mile, and he said, the hell I can't, and he kept visualizing that he looked behind him and saw the clock at 3:59, and he kept visualizing, kept running his ass off, and then actually did it. They said if you do it, your heart's going to explode. You're not even going to be able, you're going to die. And because people love limitations because it keeps their ass on the couch instead of actually doing something. And this guy said, bullshit, I can do it. He did it. And guess what happened right after that? Like 12 other guys did it that year. So tell me what happened there, right? He got a belief that he could do it, and then he was able to do it. So I'm not saying you don't have a titanium plate and it's not hard to do, but if you're inspired by other people that are doing amazing things, you're going to be able to do so much more as well. So get inspired by watching these other people. That would be my suggestion. I don't know your specific limitations. I have arthritis in 5 of my 10 fingers. Both of these hands have been bit by dogs. This one's been bit twice because I love dogs. I'm constantly sticking my hands in their mouths. I don't know why. I just love dogs, so I've been bit a few times, been in a few dog fights where I'm trying to separate them and that sort of thing. And I have limited movement and that sort of thing, arthritis, fingernails coming off, just all sorts of crazy stuff. But nonetheless, if my goal is to just play guitar and to leave those things behind me, it's like I'm going to play better than if I'm sitting here going, what if I got this thing? I almost said a naughty word there. Screw that and just focus on playing, and you're going to be so much better for doing so, okay? So Terry is saying, do you have any suggestions for chord strummers trying to switch to a more finger style? Terry, yes. Watch the finger picking series, the finger picking videos that I have that are inside the free course, YourGuitarSage.com/30. In addition to that free video that I have to you in that free 30 lesson series, I also have a PDF that's in there with a ton of finger picking exercises for you, okay? YourGuitarSage.com/30. Start there, and then on YouTube, if you're not inside my big system, inside the Unstoppable Guitar System, then come back to YouTube and type in Your Guitar Sage Finger. I'm sure I have some finger picking or finger style titles in there that will help you with that, okay? Jeff is saying, what is my warm-up exercise? Jeff, I don't warm up so much anymore. I do yoga, so I do my stretching and what have you. I do that a lot. Or sometimes if I don't do my yoga, which is never, then I will literally just do this with my hands and stretch them out, and then I'll turn my wrist and do the same thing. That's a good thing to do. Like, I won't do it that quick. I'll literally maybe hold that for a half a minute. Sometimes working that putty or something like that. I'm always working out, doing something, so I'm pretty much always, my hands are conditioned for the most part. So I do that, but I like to get into songs right away. Now, I have warm-up exercises, or less warm-up exercises, because I say if you're new, then do these exercises that I have like in the free course, number 1 and 2. Do those so that you can understand technique. The reason that I don't give you scales and stuff to practice in the beginning is I want you to just focus on technique, and if you're playing the scale and the scale sounds right, you may not see that your technique is wrong. And we got to learn our technique before we start learning scale. So that's why I specifically have you do something that's very non-musical. Later on, I have you do everything musical, because there's no need in playing those exercises over and over and over again if you're practicing songs and you're getting where you want to get to with the songs, which you can almost always do. Okay? Kimmel saying, nice, thanks, man. Keep up with the sick videos. You're so welcome. Thank you, my friend, for the kind words. I appreciate that. Jerry is saying, please scroll back to my questions. Jerry is saying, what's a good thinner steel string that won't kill my fretting fingertips? I'm playing a dreadnought, but I really want to put Ernie balls or some other brand's thinnest strings on it. Good thinner strings that will not stop killing my fingertips. Well, Jerry, it's not really about the strings. I mean, yeah, you could get a nylon string guitar, and that's going to help, but I mean, steel string is a steel string, and if you're tuning it up to pitch, and if your guitar is a little bit higher than most guitars, and you're bending, doing all sorts of stuff like that, your fingertips are going to hurt. What I suggest is just going a little bit lighter. It's kind of like if you just start working out for the first time, or the first time in a long time. I'll do limited exercises. Try to do all the exercises, but a limited amount, so that I can break the muscles down a little bit, feel better about it, and then move on, but I don't do everything all at once, okay? All right, my friends, 2 more questions. I'm going to take 2 from YouTube, 2 from Facebook, and then we're going to call it. And then I'll give an announcement. I'll tell you about some other stuff that's going on here. Again, if you're just new to the broadcast, if you've been here, then you've probably heard it before. But I'll do 2 more questions, 2 on YouTube, 2 on Facebook. Stick around, because I'll be telling you about some other stuff here. Okay, here we go. Okay, don't trust the man. That is true. Thanks, Irfan. Do you have any tips on how to smoothly incorporate percussive style into the guitar? I think I have a video for this on YouTube. If you type in YourGuitarSage snare, YourGuitarSage snare, look for that, because I know I did one of these videos. I don't know if it ever got to YouTube or not. I've done thousands of videos, so sometimes they end up just sitting on my computer. But hopefully that one made it there. That's where I would start. What's your favorite acoustic with good low action for under $1,000? I would have to say either this Takamine, the EAN10C, if it's even available anymore, or anything by Epiphone that's a Masterbuilt series. So Masterbilt. So there's no U in it. Masterbuilt. Epiphone Masterbuilt guitars, they pack a lot of bang in for the buck, and one of my favorite acoustic guitars for under $1,000. In fact, they're about $500, and you can find them used for $350, $400 sometimes online. Okay, did I get to 2 questions there? I think I did. If not, I'm going to ask one more. Where are the cats? The cats are upstairs, so the studio down here, I've got to keep the cats out of it because I don't want them peeing on stuff or scratching stuff. Unfortunately, I don't get to have the cats with me jumping around on me as much as I used to. I loved that, but I can't do it right now, Pardon me. Robert saying, great listening, Eric. Oh, thank you, buddy. Okay, so I'm going to get to 2 more here on Facebook. Okay, so here we go. This is Evan saying, I noticed on the acoustic guitar my wedding ring sometimes scratches or rubs against the bottom of the neck when I'm playing. Should I be worried about scratching the bottom or just let it happen? No, that's why I just took my ring off, is because on this one I have the same thing, and it just bothers me. Okay, Laura's out of here. See you, Laura. Laura McLeod. Okay, one more question. What is the ideal practice time for a beginner student? Sandy is asking. Sandy, the beginning, for a beginner student, ideal practice time, I would say, because your fingers are getting used to the guitar, I'd say a good practice amount per day is probably about a half hour. Obviously, the more you practice, the better you're going to be. But in the beginning, yeah, your fingers are going to hurt. And beginning is subjective, right? Some people, that's the first day. Some others, it's the first week, first month, first year, couple years. It just depends. So that's all subjective. What I like to say is practice until, number one, you either are just you've done all that you can do that day, or where your fingers are just hurting, or you run out of time. Okay. All right. Did I do 2 there? If not, I'm going to do a third one here. Yeah, do not peel off your calluses. Dear Lord, don't do that. Number 1, that would hurt. But learning electric after acoustic and the pedal. Any tips? Nope, no specific tips per se. I would say watch some of my electric guitar videos where I'm teaching electric guitar songs. But other than that, it's just a process. There's a lot to learn on both of them. And obviously they're tuned the same, so it's kind of the same bit, but they drive differently, right? It's like driving a 4x4 or a Porsche. So they both have wheels, a steering wheel, gas tank engine, those sorts of things, but they're obviously very different in their design and what have you. So acoustic and electrics are similar in that way. All right, my friends, those are all the questions that we're going to get to today. Let's wrap this up, my friends. This has been 5 ways to increase your guitar playing skills, even if you have limited time. So we did net time, right? And basically, we're calling that net time. We're calling that multitasking. Okay. And basically, we went over them. TV, play guitar while you're watching TV. Shred neck pocket guitar. Grip master putty capo. Finger exercises and diagram chord scales in class, doctor's office, that sort of thing. So if you haven't watched all that stuff, make sure you check that out at the beginning of the broadcast. That's where I really get into all that. A few things for you, my friends. If you have not already, I've seen a lot of questions from folks that obviously have not taken advantage. I say taken advantage of the free course is because I created this course specifically for you to answer a bunch of questions for you. Come visit me in Nashville. We'll do it in the same studio, the same exact material, the same dude, same talking head, and the same guitars, and we'll go over the same videos, basically the same lessons, and it'll cost about $1,000. But I'm literally giving it to you for free today. Only thing you got to do is click on the link that's in the description of this video, or you can type it out. Go to YourGuitarSage.com/30. Watch those step-by-step videos. They're absolutely going to give you a massive foundation for understanding the guitar. There's finger picking, there's music theory, there's all sorts of bits and pieces, okay? And I've had thousands of folks go through this already. Folks that have been playing for a long time, and they're still learning amazing things in that course, okay? It's free for you. Go get it. There's the link right there, my friends. And then lastly, if you haven't shared this already, we're going to pick 5 winners here. You know the spiel. We're going to be giving away autographed books, CDs, ebooks, all sorts of great stuff, okay? So do that. And also, so share that. And we're after the broadcast, we always do this. We find 5 winners randomly. And then also, 1 winner today is going to win an Epiphone PR 150 guitar. This is an acoustic dreadnought guitar, and you can see it right there. Right there. And we're going to be giving that away today. And in fact, I think we're going to do that for the next 5 broadcasts. And lastly, my friends, in order to win that, you have to be subscribed to me on YouTube, and you have to be following me on Facebook, okay? We're going to pick 1 winner that's going to win that guitar today. You got to be doing both of those. Okay, if not, you're not entered into the contest. We're going to do that for the next 5 broadcasts. And also on March the 24th, write this down in your calendar right now, my friends. March the 24th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, I'll be teaching you 2 easy steps to matching chords, okay? And also how to play in any key without having to learn dozens of new chords, right? You ever tried to write a song or learn a song? Let's say you tried to write a song, you can't find the chords that match, or you try to learn a song and you can't find the chords that you're hearing through the speakers, you can't find them on the guitar, or playing in every key seems like an impossibility to you, a daunting task, right? If you answered yes to any of those, my friends, join me on March the 24th, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, because I'm absolutely going to blow your mind with understanding these concepts. As well as doing that, we're going to give away over $5,000. $5,000. Sunday. We're going to give away $5,000 worth of goodies, including many of my lifetime membership, or many How can I say that? Geez, I'm tripping over my own words. I'm going to give away many lifetime memberships to my Unstoppable Guitar System. That mammoth course has nearly 600 videos and it's constantly growing. In fact, we're uploading two hours of material-ish today. A lot of visual jam tracks and that sort of thing, and nearly 600 jam tracks that you can't find anywhere else but there. So we'll be doing that, and I'll be giving away Tatiana, my trusted, tried and true Takamine EAN 10C guitar, who's been with me for over 10 years. She's done many, many gigs. You can see she's road worn. You'll get a guitar case with it, and I'm going to pack it full of goodies. A tuner, capo, picks, books, CDs, all sorts of really fun stuff. I'm going to pack it jam full of really cool stuff, all right? So, my friends, join me then. I love you guys, man. I seriously do. This is so fun for me to do. I never in a million years thought that this is what I'd be doing for a living. I don't know what the heck I was practicing guitar for. I was just impassioned by it. But you really, truly make me so happy to be able to answer these questions for you and to get you information. So please let me know how I can help, obviously on YouTube, Facebook, all the social places. Love you guys. Thank you so much. I'll be heading out with the same thing that I started before, which is just a little bit of acoustic blues. Here you go.